In a small town lived two best friends, Amy and Jason. Amy, with her pigtails bobbing and crayons always at the ready, loved nothing more than to fill blank pages with colorful drawings of her dreams and adventures. On the other hand, Jason, with his wide-eyed curiosity and a collection of toy cars and trucks, would zoom around, making vroom vroom noises, transforming their backyard into his imaginary highway. They were both 7 years old, and since their toddler days, their friendship had blossomed like a sunflower in the summer sun. They were inseparable, always exploring their little town, finding new paths and secret hideouts, playing from sunrise till sunset. Their laughter echoed through the streets, their footprints marking the paths of the adventures they undertook. Whether it was Amy's vibrant drawings or Jason's exhilarating car races, their days were filled with joy and creativity. And as the sun would set, they would look at each other, their eyes sparkling with anticipation. Amy and Jason are always ready for a new adventure. One day, while exploring, they came across a very old, very large tree. Now, this was no ordinary tree. It was so tall that it seemed to touch the sky, and so wide that it would take Amy, Jason, and a dozen of their friends to circle it completely by holding hands. Its bark was gnarled and twisted, like an old man's face, full of stories waiting to be told. This tree had been standing here for centuries, longer than the oldest building in town, longer than anyone could remember. It was a silent witness to the passing of time, the changing seasons, and the growth of the town. Its roots dug deep into the earth, drawing strength and wisdom from the soil, while its branches stretched out in all directions, reaching out for the sun and the stars. But there was something else about this tree. It had a mysterious aura that sent shivers down your spine. You could feel it when you were near it, a kind of magic that was older than time. The leaves rustled even when there was no wind, and sometimes, if you listened closely, you could hear a soft, whispering voice. There were rumors in the town about this tree. Some said it was magical, others said it was haunted. But the most intriguing rumor was that the tree was lonely. It yearned for human friends. It wanted children to play around its roots, to climb its branches, to listen to its stories. It wanted to share its magic, its wisdom, and its love with them. But the tree was so old and so large that it scared most people away. They admired it from a distance, but no one dared to approach it. No one, that is, until Amy and Jason. They were different. They were brave. They were curious. And they were ready for an adventure. The tree stood tall and lonely, waiting for someone to come and play. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, Amy and Jason were the friends it had been waiting for. As Amy and Jason approached the tree, they felt a strange tingling sensation. The air seemed to shimmer around them, alive with an energy they'd never felt before. There was a palpable sense of anticipation, like the world was holding its breath, waiting for something extraordinary to happen. Suddenly, the tree rustled its leaves, the sound echoing in the quiet forest like a gentle whisper. It was a soft, melodious voice, enchanting in its uniqueness. It was as if the wind itself had learned how to speak, its voice carrying the ancient wisdom of the tree. "Come, Amy and Jason," it invited. "Come and play with me." The words were not just heard but felt, resonating inside their hearts. The invitation was warm and welcoming, like a friend inviting them over for a fun-filled afternoon. The tree promised them an adventure they would never forget. It promised them games that were exciting, thrilling, and full of magic. It promised them laughter that would echo through the forest, bringing it alive with joy. The tree's magic was not just in its voice, but in its promise. It was a promise of a world where anything was possible, a world where they could be anything they wanted to be, do anything they wanted to do. It was a promise of a world where dreams came true, a world where the impossible became possible. As they listened to the tree, Amy and Jason felt a sense of wonder filling their hearts. The tree's magic was not just in its words, but in the feelings it stirred within them. It was a magic that made them feel happy, excited, and most importantly, loved. The tree's magic was not just for Amy and Jason, but for everyone who dared to believe, who dared to dream. It was a magic that was there for everyone who had the courage to embrace the unknown, to step into a world full of possibilities. The tree's magical voice filled the air, promising a world of fun and games. It was a promise that echoed in their hearts, a promise they would always remember. Amy and Jason looked at each other, unsure of what to do. Their eyes met, their hearts raced, and their minds filled with questions. They were standing in front of the mysterious tree, the one that had shown them its magic, and now they had to make a decision. Amy, the brave and curious one, was the first one to break the silence. "Jason, what do you think? Should we play with the tree?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Jason, the thoughtful and cautious one, took a moment before he responded, "I'm not sure, Amy. It's a bit scary, don't you think?" They started to weigh their options. On one hand, the tree was magical, something they had never seen before. It promised fun and adventure, two things that Amy and Jason loved. But on the other hand, it was unknown and mysterious, and that made Jason a bit nervous. He wasn't sure if they should take the risk. Amy, however, was excited by the idea of an adventure. She loved exploring new things and was always ready for a challenge. "But Jason," she argued, "don't you want to see what the tree can do? It could be the most exciting thing we've ever done." Jason considered Amy's words. He too loved adventures, but he was also practical. He wanted to make sure they were safe. But looking at Amy's eager face, he knew he couldn't let her down. "All right, Amy, let's give it a try," he said, his voice filled with determination. Their decision made, they felt a rush of excitement. The prospect of a new adventure with their magical tree friend filled them with anticipation. They knew they were about to embark on a journey unlike any other, a journey filled with magic, fun, and friendship. With a nod to each other, they stepped forward, ready to embark on a new adventure. Their hearts fluttered with the thrill of the unknown, their minds buzzing with the possibilities that lay ahead. And so, hand in hand, Amy and Jason stepped into their new adventure, ready to discover the magic that awaited them. As they stepped forward, the tree rustled happily. With a little wiggle and a big, wide yawn, the tree woke up from its long, long slumber. Suddenly, the air was filled with a glittery glow as the magic of the tree came to life, transforming the world around Amy and Jason into a magical playground. Imagine, if you will, a world where the grass is as soft as a fluffy pillow, where the leaves on the trees are a symphony of colors, and where the wind whispers the sweetest melodies. This is where our friends found themselves, in a place where everything was possible, and where every moment was an adventure waiting to happen. In this magical world, the tree created a swing with its long, sturdy branches. Amy and Jason took turns pushing each other higher and higher, their laughter echoing in the air. The tree's leaves rustled in delight, happy to see its new friends having so much fun. Next, the tree conjured up a slide that spiraled down its trunk. Amy and Jason, filled with excitement, climbed up the tree and slid down, their eyes wide with joy. The tree hummed a happy tune, its leaves twinkling like stars in the night sky. Then came a game of hide and seek, with Amy and Jason darting behind the tree's massive roots and peeking out from behind its thick, leafy branches. The tree watched on, its bark warm with the joy of friendship. And so they played, and they laughed, and they had the most wonderful time. The sun danced in the sky, the wind played a soft lullaby, and the world around them was full of magic and merriment. Amy and Jason had found a friend in the most unexpected of places, and the tree, oh the tree, it was overjoyed. For the first time in a very long time, the tree was not alone. It had friends who filled its world with laughter and love. Amy and Jason had the best time, and the tree was happy to finally have friends. As the day came to an end, Amy and Jason were tired but happy. They had laughed, they had played, and they had discovered the magic of a tree that was more than just a tree. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, they knew it was time to say goodbye to their new friend. "Good night, magical tree," they called, their voices echoing in the quiet forest. "We'll be back to play again tomorrow." The tree seemed to shimmer in response, as if it too was saying goodbye. With a final wave, Amy and Jason started their journey home, their hearts full of joy and their minds filled with memories of the day's adventure. A soft yawn escaped Amy's lips while Jason rubbed his eyes, both ready for the comfort of their beds. And now, dear friends, it is time for you two to wander into the dream world where maybe you can meet a magical tree. Good night and sweet dreams.